Is Uganda ready to manage a mass production of marijuana for commercial and medical use? We used to say that whole road leads to Rome, but it seems all road does not lead to Rome these days. When you use the sea trying to enter Italy, they'll block you. And to be honest, Rome just lost that title. All road leads to Rome. They just lost that title. We have a new destination for you. Uganda has taken over. It is now all road leads to Kampala. Congratulations, Kampala. Use it wisely, or you'll burn your fingers. The headquarters of United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee country headquarters is based in Kampala. The director came out recently talking proudly of planting 40,000 trees that will grow in 40 years, and it will help refugees not to walk too long looking for woods to cook. What he forgot to tell us is the 15 months investigation going on in Uganda about a corruption within the refugee organization, misuse of fund, corruption, fraud. They are being investigated. He never mentioned a word about it. This is the director of United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee in Kampala. He did mention it. He just talked about 40,000 trees, which is going to take 40 years to grow. Some of us may not even see it. We may be gone long time ago. That is why I'm saying all road leads to Kampala now. They took over from Rome. Rome lost it. All road leads to Kampala. That is a place where you can come as an investor without money and die a billionaire. It is a simple trick. You just come, you pretend to be an investor, you allow people to call you an investor, you just go around to permanent secretary, you go around to the ministers, you go around to big people, you go around to the tycoon in Kampala, tell them you are an investor. Say, man, I'm going to invest for you. They will throw chai here, throw chai there, throw chai here, throw chai there. Before you know, this man who came as an investor without money is accessing your taxpayers' money and getting loan from the bank, and then he starts his investment. This is interesting. They invest with your money, they grab your land, chase you away from your ancestral land, and they take over as investors. And when they die tycoon, billionaires, and they came without money. That is why we took over from Italy. We took over from Rome. Now all road leads to Kampala, not to Rome anymore. Rome just lost it. Brothers and sisters, all road leads to Kampala. Use it wisely. Congratulations, Kampala. Use it wisely before you burn your fingers. That is the place where, as I speak, 90 different companies, they've flown in to Kampala. That is why all road leads to Kampala now. There are 90 companies they jetted into Kampala. I think some of them used the British Airways. Some of them might have used Alitalia. Some of them might have used KLM. Some of them might have used Ryanair. But I tell you, they joined their counterparts. We have also local companies who are there, just throwing chai here, throwing chai there, throwing chai here. They're lobbying. They want to get their hand on a license to start producing marijuana in Uganda for commercial and medical purposes. When they say for commercial and medical purposes, in fact, what they are telling you is that when we start the production of marijuana for commercial purposes, we are talking about recreation uses. You have to know your customer. Who is the customer? Who are you going to sell those marijuana to? Who are you going to turn into an addict? And those are our people. Those are the poor. Those are the ones living in poverty. Or our children who are going to school will be forced to use those drugs because they have to look for a place to sell it. And those are their customers. When you talk about a medical marijuana, then you talk about how many people in Uganda really need those medical marijuana. We have gone higher than other countries that we want to produce it. How many of our people need that medicine? Or you are just turning to making revenue because it gives you more money. If you produce those medicine and sell them abroad. But then one can ask themselves, is that worth it? Because the consequences of producing those marijuana will be everywhere. And in fact, our neighbors should be real worried about this progress. We are within East African Community. If you legalize the production of marijuana in Uganda, Uganda have the right to sell those marijuana to your people. And we are going to have a lot of problems, like we have been seeing here in the Netherlands, that they have a lot of marijuana tourists. So sooner or later, if that production begins in Kampala, we are going to have marijuana tourists from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Rwanda, from Burundi, from Congo, from Southern Sudan. And there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot stop it because the smugglers will also be smuggling those marijuana to the neighboring countries. And we are going to have the situation like in America, where they are fighting opioid. They want to get rid of it, but it has reached a level where it is very difficult to get rid of it. So we are going to use those medical or marijuana for producing marijuana for commercial services or medical uses. That is a lie. I ask myself, why should a foreign government or a foreign company be interested in grabbing a land? Because the government has to give them a land somewhere to produce those marijuana for commercial services and for medical purposes. You have to have a land somewhere. You have to own a land somewhere in order to have a mass production. Otherwise, it will not be profitable. It will not be profitable. Why should a foreign government get interest in just an investment? The question is, why don't you invest in your own country? Because you can grab a land in your own country. Nobody is going to bother you. But here, you come to poor countries, to African countries, and then you ask them, you say, yeah, we are investors, give us money. It will, you will have a revenue of so many millions and billions. We'll give you money. But all those money you are giving, you have already used the tactics of throwing chai here, coughing chai here, coughing chai there. That is a fraud. You are trying to get what you want. As long as you can get it, you don't care how you get it. So we have to be very careful here. What are the interests of these foreign companies coming to invest a lot of money in mass production of marijuana for commercial use and for medical purposes? They have something else behind their mind. They want to finish our kids. They want to turn all our children into addicts. So in about 40 years, you'll find that so many people in Uganda and in East Africa would be addicted to marijuana. And then the same people will come back and tell you that we have now to use a completely different method to solve the problem of marijuana. Because we have discovered that the medical marijuana does not work. So they will come with a completely different ideas. And still cough chai here, cough chai there, cough chai here, cough chai there, and you still buy it. We still keep on buying it. And then tomorrow, before you know, the bill will be tabled in Parliament. And the rubber stamp will just sit there and their stamp on it. And you'll hear, we have legalized production of marijuana in Uganda. Now everybody is going to be rich. Everybody is going to make money out of it. Of course, there are people who will be smuggling those marijuana to neighboring countries. There are some who will be selling it to school children, to the university, because everybody is going to be hot. And then we are going to have marijuana tourists from all over the world. Like people are coming to Amsterdam. Come for a weekend, you sit there, you smoke your opium, you go. That is what is going to happen in Uganda. Everybody may become a drug dealer. We may all turn to marijuana. for whatever reason. You see, guys, Rome lost its title, and that title has now moved to Kampala. Congratulations, Kampala. Use it wisely before you burn your fingers. Rome has lost it. Use it wisely, Kampala. If you ask me, do I support production of marijuana for commercial use or medical use? I will tell you no. That is a poison that is going to kill our people, that is going to turn our children into zombies. If I were you, I would not allow it to happen, because I have seen what is happening in Europe with drugs. I have seen what is happening in America with drugs. That is something that can just finish people while you see, and you can do nothing about it. I appeal to you, neighboring countries, if you can stop this, tell Uganda we don't need marijuana. What we used to do those days when we were growing up, marijuana was being produced in small scale just to cure some chicken sickness. If a chicken is sick, you just pump those leaves and put it in water. You make the chicken drink it, and it will be okay. But we don't want a mass production for mass destruction. It must stop. And it is you who can stop it, the people of Uganda. But if you allow this to go on, then you are participating in destroying the next generation and the next generation and the next generation to come. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe. Wangoo will be live soon.